And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the upper bracket semifinals of the House Galactic Battle. I'm, of course, your side VIP, and with me, I am now joined by another fellow Duckling, by the one, the only, the Yaku of the Zaku.
Dzień dobry!
Oh no.
Stitchka.
Oh no.
Dzień dobry, baby. Dzień dobry. Welcome again. It is great to have you here, Yaku. Great to have you as we near the second half of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with the group stage. We just wrapped up with the first round of the playoffs. Now we are here in the upper semifinals.
Indeed, we are. Oh, we are getting a little bit closer to deciding who to be crowned the King of Poland.
This is how you do it. Some people may think, wait, does Poland have a king? Well, not right now. I mean, we haven't finished the tournament yet. That's how we crown him.
Exactly. Speaking of our contenders for King of Poland, we have over here in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our blue Terran player coming from the land of Poland. Perhaps not royalty, perhaps not Polish royalty, but absolutely EU Terran royalty for quite some time. Representing Natos Vince, we have Spirit.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Krystianer, we have the red Polish Protoss player representing Team Blazer. He's just now warmed up after bringing down Mishu 2-0 in the upper quarterfinals. It is Krystianer.
I would like to apologize in advance if I am a little slow calling out names, as I may or may not have forgotten to delete the previous logo spot.
What logos mod are you using? What?
I don't know, but right now I'm seeing Cham and Bunny instead of Spirit and Krystianer.
God damn it, yeah. God damn it. It's okay. We'll get around to fixing that. It's fine. It's fine. Oh god. As we're getting into our TvP here. At least you got one Terran. Who's the Terran? Who's Bunny in your?
Spirit, thankfully.
There you go. Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, and you know what? Cham is kind of like Krystianer, but longer, or no, shorter. Wait.
Oh god. What are you talking about, Yaku? What do you mean? In what way is he longer?
There are more syllables in Krystianer. But you know what? We could just call. He has been known to be called Old Mate Christy. Back in Poland.
I don't think that's true.
Unverified for now, but
it's all good. It's all good. Again, very happy to have you here, Yaku, at least for the time being. And we're getting into our openers. And I don't know if you were watching the last series, but it was pretty straightforward. Our last PVT, Krystianer, every game against Mishu did open up Twilight Council and went 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink every single game, and was able to achieve a lot of success and actually knock Mishu down quite heavily, getting out of control with his Blink Stalker control. We'll see if he does the same against Spirit. We'll see if Spirit can have a better response, as he is already mixing it up quite a bit.
Yeah, already opting for that, opting for that Cyclone opening, a bit of a straight-up 1-1-1 with Double Reaper. Okay, Double Reaper, but no Hellion. That's a new one on me.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, right, it's Reaper Hellion, but I guess with the advent of the new Cyclone, Hellions are falling a little bit more by the wayside in the early game, as a good KDA charge there does knock that Adept away, and we do manage to escape. Now, what's important here is that Spirit hasn't gotten into the main yet. So far, Krystianer, he has done a good job at just keeping Spirit in the dark and denying any kind of scout. For the time being, Spirit has not seen the tech.
Yeah, seeing that Krystianer is opting for another base is not really much of a tell nowadays. Real good use of the high ground vision here with the Reapers. One Adept will be going down. I was questioning the use of the Cyclone, not gonna lie, Light, but that's definitely one way of utilizing it.
Yeah, very smart play there out of Spirit. He does get 2 more probes as well. At the same time, the Cyclone also threatens a natural base, but it does get shut down, and we will force back these Reapers. Now, once again, Spirit didn't scout the tech, but he saw all the Stalkers. So he should be aware of the Blink opener, as the Reaper does get hunted down, and Spirit has seen additional gateways as well. He does see the gateway on the low ground, as well as the Robo, so he knows it's not Stargate.
Yeah, that should be enough of a tell for him to recognize what's going on. It's very rare that we just see a straight up Robo and, I don't know, just Robo into a Robo Bay, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't happen too often here, and if it does, I mean, usually it's for a reason, for something like a 3 racks response or something along those lines. But for now, we do see Krystianer taking his third. So it was Blink as an opener, but this time only 2 gateways. So 2 gate Blink into a third base, a very economic opener here at a Krystianer. He is taking a more defensive stance against Spirit.
Yeah, and I can't say I blame him. Spirit, for the past year and a half, I think, has really established himself, especially in TvP, as being a very aggressive player. Somebody who really just likes to drop and then go in with a push and then drop simultaneously.
Oh yeah, has been quite aggressive in this matchup. And speaking of aggression, he has opened up with a Cloak Banshee, by the way. We do get into the mineral line, and we do have detection. There are observers, but they are out on the map. They're nowhere near the main bases here. A lot of probes are going down.
5 of them all ready for the cost of basically nothing right here for Spirit. My heart breaks a little bit for Krystianer here. You can tell he was gearing up for a mine drop with how he positioned those stalkers, but yeah, unfortunately, Spirit had other plans.
Yeah, the Banshee opener so far has paid for itself here. We've gotten how many worker kills so far? 8 in total. And now we have a second Banshee soon to join the first. And now suddenly we can pose that much of a greater threat here to Krystianer. Krystianer being very proactive though. He's looking for the Banshees.
Yeah, he knows he needs to stop them before they get into his base. He knows that the potential of 2 Banshees to just start one-shotting probes and then micro away is absolutely high. So he is hunting them down, and he will be able to get one.
Ooh,
and the other
he
one.
gets the... Yeah, he gets the high energy one at that. He gets a second one as well. Very nice pick off here. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, never fool me again. As Krystianer, he does shut down both Banshees and regains map control.
And he is absolutely making full use of that with his Blink Stalkers as well. Look at that massive gateway explosion back on home. Krystianer knows that he is safe. This is a time for him to start ramping up his production.
Exactly. His third base is up and running as well. He's applying some pressure. His goal here is to contain his opponent. Maybe find a couple of pickoffs here and there, but there is a tank. It is, of course, covered by the SCVs as well, so we can repair just in case we dive on top of the tank. There's also the bunker covering this location as well. And up in the main base, we have a third TC well underway.
Yeah. Gonna slowly turn into an orbital command and eventually land in that third base. Stim is about to finish up here for Spirit, so pretty soon is going to be the time for him to start chasing this back, and if he has enough momentum, pushing this all the way back into Krystianer's side of the map.
Oh yeah, exactly. He will soon break free and establish that third base. When it comes to Krystianer, he does pick up a couple of stray workers. He tried to apply some pressure to this base. He does see the Unsiege. He sees the Marines. He's aware now that we are going to move out. We have Stim.
And we have +1. Combat shield still a little bit of ways off. But that is not going to stop a Terran player, least of all Spirit.
Yeah, he does force back the army. Third base is being established. Meanwhile, across the map, we do have a mine drop, a very unorthodox timing for the mine drop, trying to catch out Krystianer, but he is paying attention. He avoids that mine shot as well, and he does defend.
Nicely done. A little bit far from detection range, but at the same time, it's far enough away from anything that's actually vulnerable to a mine drop.
Yeah, exactly. As it looks like the Winter Mine is going to be saved here by the medevac. No, never mind. We just run past the medevac, run past the Winter Mine. At the same time, here we go. We're hitting the third base. Both players are.
Yeah, Spirit going to be able to take out that fourth base. A bunch of reinforcements here for Spirit. Will be able to chase away these Stalkers. Spirit loses 8 SCVs, but he will keep that third base alive. Krystianer, meanwhile, will be knocked down to an even base count for the time being. Loses a couple of his probes, a couple more probes here, so they're actually on even base and worker count for the time being.
Yeah, which is a better thing for Spirit. Again, he has got mules on top of that. Again, that was a big blow to the economy for Krystianer, losing his base. He was out of position. He was not ready for it. He also lost a lot of Stalkers here across the map. And now Krystianer is pretty committed. He's pretty committed with this push. We need to trade well against this. We have a lot of Zealots. We even have 2 Colossi behind this. Can we get on top of the tanks?
Yeah, very powerful army, but positioning is everything. A lot of these Zealots actually getting wiped out before they can really get on top of anything. A couple of ghosts are now out. EMP does land, and it softens up the Colossus significantly. Krystianer making a little bit of headroom, but with the pulled SCVs, Spirit will be able to chase this back, even killing... Oh, I was going to say killing the Colossus, but that was some clutch juggling coming out here from Krystianer.
That was some very clutch juggling, some hot pickups there out of Krystianer. He does preserve both of his Colossi. None of them go down. He killed 7 SCVs, but he merely traded with the army, and he was hoping to do a little bit more. He was hoping to deal more critical damage here as Spirit does hold, and Spirit maintains his economic advantage as well. He did lose SCVs, that's true, but he has mules on top of that, and he is working towards his 4th base as well. He's working towards expanding on the right-hand side. The pressure is still on Krystianer.
Absolutely. That would have been a good push if not for the fact that he lost basically all of his Zealots and most of his Stalkers as well.
Yeah, exactly, and now we have to resort to this drop play. Zealot drop into the natural base, kills 1 SCV. We do have a Zealot runway on the right-hand side. We try to get on top of the tank, and it looks like, the tank goes down!
Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, that tank is definitely helping out a ton when it comes to the defense here, but we are starting to move to the point of the TvP where, the Terran player does want to start getting rid of those tanks, getting a couple more Ghosts, getting some Liberators as well.
Exactly, and as you mentioned, Liberator production, there it is, +1 ship weapons on the way for the air units here of Spirit. We do have Viking production well underway as well, and eventually we are going to be working towards those Liberators, and Krystianer, he's still doing everything he can to make sure Spirit stays back at home. He's going for all these Zealot run-bys, these Zealot counterattacks. The War Prism is still alive, we can still threaten another dive, but we're hoping to try and hit Spirit when he's not really paying attention as he catches these Zealots.
Yeah, pretty good pickoff here from Spirit. Just another potential base covered for him here.
Exactly, yeah, these Zealots are not going by unnoticed. Back at home, though, we are going to be refining our army. Remember, at least we kept the Colossus alive. The Colossus, they survived, and now we can freely get into Disruptor production. Meanwhile, the Hydro comes in once again.
Yeah, a couple of probes will go down, thankfully for Krystianer. He did have this photon cannon, so it's not like he's going to lose too much more after that. A couple of DTs coming in, and there are no Ravens, there are no E-Base. Spirit is completely reliant on scans, which he actually doesn't have too many of.
Ooh, yeah, this one DT in the main achieving a lot of damage at the same time. We do have the main army of Krystianer pushing towards the 3rd base. This tank is exposed, the tank is going to be going down.
And all of a sudden, things are looking very shaky for our blue Terran player. He's losing basically every SCV that he's got.
To the 1 DT. The DTs, they're doing so much here. There's a DT here at the 3rd base, a DT in the main. 25 SCVs go down. The DTs are being dealt with, but they have done their job here. Finally, Krystianer, he bounces back, and Krystianer, he's maxed.
He is maxed out. Spirit still a little bit of ways off. Army supplies are looking comparable with a couple of good EMPs. I can definitely see Spirit taking an engagement, but that is definitely a big if. Right now, the ball is in Krystianer's court.
Ooh, and his option, we were about to base trade, but no, we're recalling back home instead. The Vikings, they shut down one of the Colossus. They're going for the other Colossus as well.
Yeah, the Stalkers and the Shield Battery overcharge is going to be enough to keep them alive. A little bit of a costly trade there for Spirit. Spirit will also be eating a Purification Nova, 2 Purification Novas actually, and will be forced to lift, get away, and go back home. He is now in very dire straits, let me tell you that.
He really is. I was really concerned for Krystianer when it came to that recall. I was concerned that Spirit was just going to dive on the army and focus down all the disruptors, but Spirit, no, he backed off. He lost all of his Vikings, and Krystianer, he still has momentum. He's still pushing out across the map. He still has a supply lead. He has lost a couple of Colossi, that is true, but he has so many disruptors.
He really, really does, and Spirit is running out of room to micro back to. He's not careful. 1 Purification Nova will be the end of this. Good split here from Spirit, but he can't keep splitting forever. He does eat that 1 Purification Nova, and GG is called. Krystianer will be taking game number 1.
GG, well played. Krystianer initially having a bit of a hard time. Initially, he did lose his 4th base. If you remember, the pressure was on our Protoss player, but he was able to bounce back. He was able to pop off with his Dark Templar. The DT, the Zealot Harass wasn't really doing too much, if you remember. The Zealot Harass was struggling, but the DT Harass, that's what really popped off, and he was able to wreak havoc and cripple the economy and force the all-in out of Spirit.
Absolutely. Anytime Dark Shrine, well, it's even better if you're behind slightly.
You're not wrong, Bob. You're not wrong. So clutch moves there out of Krystianer, and this is a big start for him because if you're unaware, Spirit is the reigning House SC2 Circuit champion. Last year, Spirit was crowned the King of Poland, and again, he was even able to bring down a laser in the process multiple times in some
I remember that.
pretty intense series. Like it was a dominant performance last year out of Spirit.
Yeah, that was the same. That was the same night that Epic LAN was going on, if I remember correctly. We
It
crowned a new
was.
king in Poland and a new king in Britain.
There you go. There you go. And it's been a terrifying reign that Spirit has been actually having here for the past year. But will he be dethroned? You know, will he not be able to hold on to that crown for another year is the question, because Krystianer, he's popping off, and this is the best of 3, by the way. You know, we don't have that much room here for Spirit to really get his footing. He has to fight back here and now.
Indeed, he does. If he wants to go into those grand finals with a bit of a lead, he needs to start fighting back, and he needs to win this, and then the game after that.
Oh, he does. The pressure is on. Now, to be fair, Spirit, he's a very experienced player, and I'm sure he is more than willing to embrace this and go to town and fight back. But it all has to happen here and now in Game 2.
One map here, potentially, as we load into Oceanborn. We're over here in the bottom right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right. We have a blue Terran player coming out from the land of Poland. He is, of course, going to be representing his team Na'Vi. We have Spirit. He is the Avatar.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Team Blazer, leading the series 1-0. Again, Krystianer, he is one of the other stronger Protoss players in this tournament. Can we cause an upset? It is Krystianer. Hunting for that unobtainium.
Question mark?
Yeah,
Potentially, yeah.
there you go. The Terran? Were they called Terran?
They probably were.
I think they were, yeah, right?
That's like, you know, if you're in a generic sci-fi film and you need to name the human faction, you go with Terran.
There you go. There you go. And oh, we do have a
Unless
spicy
they were
start
called the
here.
Fire Nation.
A spicy start from Krystianer, as we do have the eBay block forcing the unnatural natural, and I haven't seen this too often. I'm not too sure if you're aware of this, but this opener from Spirit has been rising in popularity in the new patch, and in recent times Protoss players have been one to very quickly scout and actually deny the eBay to make sure this scenario doesn't take place, because this is where Cyclones can have some fun.
Oh, without a doubt. This is exactly what the Terran player wants. They want to, you know, sort of isolate the natural base from, I say natural base, the second base from the main base as much as possible, just to make it that much more difficult for to defend. And Cyclones, man, they still do a lot of damage to buildings.
They do, to buildings, to gateway units alike as well. Now, in saying so, this was a different opener out of Spirit. So typically, if you are able to successfully eBay block, this leads into a Rax into factory before CC off of 1 gas, and that leads into Cyclone production. Instead, Spirit went Rax expand. He still went for the economic opener, despite forcing a really uncomfortable position out of Krystianer. So Spirit doing Spirit things, still being very economic, despite having the opportunity to be aggressive as, oh my god, Krystianer goes down a pylon.
Yeah, just looks to be a bit of an eye for now. It's, you know, spotter, it's potentially blocking a third base location, but that probe is going home, so I question the pylon placement. Nope, never mind, it turned around.
The probe it does turn back around. It's still here. The gateway has been thrown. Now we can reinforce into the face of Spirit. The Reaper does come across the pylon. Big moment here for Spirit. He does scout the proxy.
And with that, he will be able to get a bit of a response. It's a little too late now for him to try to shut it down. The Stalker and the Adept are already here across the map, but Spirit has all the information he needs, really, to start defending against this, store down maybe another bunker in the main, or start getting, there we go, Cyclones.
Yeah, there you go. The Cyclones are on the way. We have the 1-1-1 follow-up. Reactor Marines are amassing. And Krystianer may want to transition out of this. We'll see, because he does have a Twilight Counter behind this. 2 gateways back at home, 3rd gateway across the map, and he does pivot away. Do we cancel the gateway? It looks like we will not. And we're taking a 3rd base back at home, which is scouted by Spirit.
Yeah, I'm liking this map so far that we've got here. Like, we're seeing both players play like Protoss.
What does that mean?
Both of them trying to one-up each other with, with tricks.
Exactly. I mean, you can see here, even Krystianer, he has a probe rallied across the map to, okay, was about to try to repower that pylon, but he does back away from that. And yeah, we just have mind games, basically, right? Krystianer, because he got scouted, he backs away from the cheese, he backs away from the aggression, and he's going to try to get back into this economy.
Yeah, which isn't a bad idea, you know, considering how defensive Spirit has been playing this game. Again, like you said, instead of building more Cyclones and trying to take advantage of that isolated base, he just went for a straight up 1-1-1. He threw down his bunker, he got his Cyclone, and now he's even starting tank production. So this is a time for Krystianer to start being a little bit more greedy and to later on start gearing up to defend against a +1 timing push.
100%, and that's exactly what Krystianer is doing. You can see he's taking his 3rd base. He's staying on a low gateway count, only 2 gateways, and he's already taking up into a robotics base. So he is being quite greedy. Now the Cyclone has arrived, and we do manage to pick off a couple of probes here. Oh, pretty good trade so far. Cyclone will be shut down, but 3 workers go down in the blink of an eye. As you mentioned, behind this, we are building up a very hefty tank count. We have additional tanks on the way. We have Banshees as well. This time, only 1 Banshee. We haven't overcommitted into it with additional Banshee. Oh, wait, sorry. 2 Banshees, as the first one is already waiting for its partner. Cloak is researched, and instead of a 3rd CC, we throw down 2 more Raxes.
This is very aggressive coming out from Spirit. This is a Spirit that I know and love. And this is a Spirit who is responding to a gateway in his 3rd base.
Oh, yeah. The gateway is still there in the 3rd as well, as the Banshees are amassing here soon to dive in towards that natural base of Krystianer. Now, Krystianer does have detection. He has 1 observer, but the observer is with the main army. It's not at home to defend. His bases are quite vulnerable here to Banshees.
Yeah, and 2 Banshees do one-shot probes. This entire mineral line is compromised.
Yeah, a bit of a late reaction, a late recall here from Krystianer. He does come back home, but he's in a lot of trouble. That's going to be 9 dead workers, 11, 12, and counting. And we're going to get even more damage done from here. These have more than paid for themselves.
Without a doubt. The Observer actually isn't with this army?
No.
Oh, no.
He recalled the army. He missed the Observer with the recall.
Well, Cloak energy is about to run out, so that should be the worst. The worst should be over here for Krystianer, but 19 probes. 19. Krystianer had 69 probes for a second there. And they were gone in the blink of an eye, practically.
Yeah. I mean, you can see here that both players, I mean, Krystianer still has a worker lead, which is crazy, right? That's how far ahead, that's how greedy he was. But that also goes to show how powerful this 2-base all-in is. The boys are being pulled. Spirit, he's going to be knocking down his opponent. And Krystianer, he is reprobing, he's resaturating when he should be focusing on his army.
He should, but does he really have the resources to do so? I mean, he is trying to get more Colossus right now. But his income is just very, very low. SCVs have been pulled, as you mentioned, and this is exactly where Spirit wants to fight.
Yeah, exactly. Within range of his tanks, he depowers the robo, shuts down the prism as well. Very nice target farming here at his Spirit, and he zones the ground army away from the natural base as we do lay siege upon it. Colossus trying to come in from behind. We do get a warping of Zealots as well. That Colossus is so bad, it is so bruised.
Yeah, it really is. The Banshees from earlier actually helped distract the main army as well for a little bit. There's only 1 Colossus, and that's the only Colossus that Krystianer will have for the rest of this game. Robo goes down, everything goes down. It's a little bit of a hefty army. I mean, Spirit's army is very stimmed, but it is still a lot of firepower. GG is called. Spirit will be taking that game with a 2 base SCV pull. That's why he's my king of Poland.
GG, well played, Spirit. He fights back, tying up the series 1-1. Again, that last game was quite intense overall, and the Invisible Man, the Invisible Units so far have been the MVPs here of this series. Game 1, it was the Dark Templar. Game 2, it was the Cloak Banshees.
Yeah. Man, and I want to point out that in both times it was neither player having or rather it was both players having detection but not where they needed them to be at. Spirit,
Yeah,
one too many mules, didn't have enough scans. As for Krystianer, and I kind of want to watch that replay and see how that recall, where that recall was thrown down.
yeah, because right, we saw the observer was with the stalkers. Like the observer was providing some high ground vision for the stalkers to blink into the main, and the recall was delayed. So I assumed that he was waiting for the observer to meet back up with the stalkers and then recall. But clearly, the recall missed the observer, and that meant that the banshees did even more damage. And yeah, it was just a really rough position for Krystianer, and things very quickly escalated in favor of Spirit. But now we're getting into the ace match, and we've seen both players look strong. We've seen both players have their moments in the sun. But how will this story end in Game 3?
It's going to be Banshees versus DTs.
Banshees, though, they can shoot down. DTs, they can't shoot up.
They can't, but you know what they can do? They can morph into Archons.
True. There you go.
Archons. They can shoot up.
We'll see how this all comes together here. We have our map of choice. We're going to be loading into Solaris as the ace match.
How fitting indeed. As we load on in over here onto Solaris, where over here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spotting all the way in the bottom left, we have our red Protoss player coming down from the land of Poland, representing Team Blazer. He is Krystianer.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the best Terran player in all of Poland. We have the reigning House SE2 Circuit champion representing Team Na'Vi. Fighting back, forcing the ace match. It is Spirit.
I will admit, Light, that unfortunately I haven't quite been keeping abreast with Spirit that much. Pretty much ever since he switched to Na'Vi. And, wasn't playing in WTL, which for some reason was the one place I got my Spirit action at.
Yeah.
Haven't really kept up with how Spirit is playing, what his form is like, what he likes to do in the new patch, but it's good to see that he's still got it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, shout out to Spirit, right, for landing and joining the new Team Na'Vi, right? It's a big moment for him. I'm sure he's getting supported quite well. But I agree. We used to cast Spirit on a weekly basis in WTL, and after he left Sidestorm Gaming, we suddenly got a lot less Spirit on the channel. So likewise, I also haven't seen much from him. On top of that, Spirit also wasn't a part of Masters Coliseum. He wasn't able to make it into the event. And yeah, he's been a little bit more in the dark as a result. Clearly still in forms, clearly still practicing, of course, on his new team. But yeah, we just haven't seen as much of him in recent times, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's good to see that he still knows how to SCV pull, though.
Oh, yeah. Always, Papi, always. And I would still pin him as the favorite player here in this tournament as well. We have been able to cast Spirit when it comes to the House Open Cups. The sponsors of this tournament, the venue, they've been hosting bi-weekly online tournaments for the Polish scene, and Spirit has still been looking dominant there as well. So he's looking to, again, reclaim his throne if at all possible. But yeah, Krystianer, he's posing a surprising obstacle for him, which again, big shout out to Krystianer. He has been improving over time as well.
Yeah. I have to agree with your assessment there. Meanwhile, though, this is probably the most normal opening that we're seeing here, at least from this side of Spirit. He does go for a Reaper expand. He does scout the main. He scouts at Krystianer, also playing pretty normal.
There you go. No Stargate opener yet, or at all in this series, but from Krystianer going for Blink. Now, we have seen some divergences. We've seen Krystianer go 2-gate Blink into a third. We've seen 4-gate Blink. We'll see how aggressive or how economic he wants to be as he does get across the map. And Spirit lost his Reaper, so he won't be able to get a read on the follow-up, at least not yet. Based on the probe movement, though, it's looking like an economic follow-up.
Yeah, for now. We'll see how that changes after some tech gets thrown down, after things get scouted.
Oh, exactly. As we do have the Adept just fighting for map control, fighting for control of the mineral line. They are going to be swatted away by Spirit so far. Good movement, good control from our Terran player. Behind this, we're getting into our 2-1-1 setup here, soon to be a 3-1-1. And we are committing in towards a mine drop again. The mine drop wasn't too successful last time, but we're getting into it.
Indeed we are, so not going to be a Banshee opening this time from Spirit. I think this may just be enough to catch Krystianer off guard.
True. It's important to bear in mind that we have seen Spirit mine drop throughout this series, but it's really been like these like weird timed mine drops, right? Like in the mid game, you know, like randomly throwing them out, trying to catch the Protoss player off guard. But we haven't seen a mine drop opener yet out of Spirit until now. So he is moving out for some scouting information. Meanwhile, as we mentioned, Krystianer is going 2-gate Blink into a third. Economic.
Yeah, thankfully for Krystianer, he is still going for a Blink opening. He is still getting his observers and whatnot, so he should still be able to defend as long as he scouts and reacts in time. There's no real reason to worry about Krystianer's probes.
Yeah, he should be able to respond to this. And you can see he's in position, actually. He's got 3 Stalkers and Detection in the main base. He's probably expecting the Banshee, right? Yeah. Like, we've seen a lot of Banshee play here at his Spirit, so he's in position for that. Meanwhile, the Observer dips in, but, ooh, the Raven will force it out before it really gets a glimpse of the production.
Yeah. Krystianer a little bit in the dark for now, but I feel like scouting the Raven is a little bit of a tell. Hellion does dive in, will distract the main army a little bit, but Spirit still unwilling to dive into the main.
Yeah, he rotates around. He's going to be going for the dive into the natural base instead. Here comes the mine drop, and Krystianer, can he react in time? He will pull away.
From one of these Widow Mines.
Oh, as we do have another Widow Mine here into the main base as well. So far, Krystianer, he does not take a mine to the face. The first Widow Mine goes down. The second one gets 1 probe in the main base. And that is all the damage dealt by Spirit.
Yeah, that is tough here for Spirit. He was absolutely angling to try to get some damage done with his Widow Mines. He is able to get a full scout into the main base, but I mean, you can tell just by rotating into the natural that he wanted something more dramatic to happen.
Oh, yeah. He was hunting for more damage. He does confirm the third base. He confirms saturation. Mine drop coming back in towards the main base. Krystianer, he does react in time, but the probes... Ooh, the mine shot actually unbursts here as we're a bit greedy, and it goes down without killing another probe.
Yeah, I don't think the auto turret got too much damage either. Very proactive defense here from Krystianer with those zealots.
Very nice, very solid defense so far at Krystianer. He gets away with a more economic opener. He is ahead in set economy, but Spirit, he's not done. He is not taking this lying down. He loads up for a double drop to support that Raven.
Yeah, I think he scouted earlier on. He knows that, you know, he can't fight Krystianer's army head on, but he does still need to try to do something to slow down the economy. That's 4 gateways in production right now. Soon to be 6 gateways total.
The mine!
The mine will land, will pop off on a couple of these probes, but Spirit going to be losing 2 medevacs full of units as well, so was it worth it? We'll see.
Yeah, that's a big question here. 11 probes went down. I mean, that was a pretty big blow to the economy of Krystianer, but as you mentioned, it wasn't a free trade. We did bleed out a lot of units to make that happen, and do we trigger a counterattack is the question here, as once again, the Raven comes back into the main base trying to keep the attention of Krystianer back at home.
And you know what? It's actually kind of working. Krystianer is, you know, not turning all the way around, but he is anticipating a multi-prong. He is pulling back to a rather defensive location with his 3 Colossus. This is absolutely what Spirit needs right now. Buy himself time until he gets a large enough army that can really deal with that. That's his 3rd base?
Yeah, 3rd CC gonna be done here in the main base, thankfully. It is done. That's a Ghost Academy on the way here towards the natural, but I don't know if you saw, he threw down extra bunkers. Like, after the aggression had ended, he was expecting a counterattack. He was expecting an all-in out of Krystianer, so he is so heavily prepared here for an assault. So, very, very wise move here out of Krystianer to not commit to it, as it looks like he will finally get that Raven.
Like so. Raven not quite able to, pay for itself throughout the entirety of this game.
Yeah, did get a couple of SCVs, but nothing too major here. Spirit, he scouts with his Marine. He does confirm the 4th base, so he knows that he is safe to take his 3rd. Meanwhile, Krystianer sees it. With his Observer, he does get eyes on the base. He gets eyes on the army as well. Krystianer, he wants to apply pressure to this 3rd.
Yeah, and he knows that he can, just not while the army is here to defend.
Speaking of,
yeah, goes to the main base, dives into natural with a handful of zealots as well. Krystianer hitting every single base right now. Spirit gonna have to fight and defend in 3 locations. 14 SCVs already go down, and he is barely pushing this back.
Yeah, exactly. Spirit, he deals with the main army, that is true, but as you can see here, 15 workers have fallen. The main base in shambles here. Spirit, he can now turn back around. He can now deal with this. He did get a kill on the War Prism at least, but that was a lot of economic damage dealt here. He wasn't broken, but his economy did take a pretty big blow. Bearing in mind that Krystianer behind this gets his 4th base up and running.
Yeah, he wasn't broken. He's just got a couple cracks in him,
He does.
Just damaged.
And will those cracks end up going further is the question here, because Krystianer, he still maintains his main army, still has those Colossi, and now we have 2nd robot on the way, double disruptor production on the horizon here for Krystianer.
I'm seeing a very similar outcome to game number 1 that we had earlier on.
Oh, there's potential. Nova's going to be going up.
Thankfully for Spirit, though, he does pull back in time. That Purification Nova won't be getting much of anything. Spirit actually able to take out 1 Colossus, so not too bad for keeping his army alive, but he does need to do more.
Yeah, it was a good pick-off here. His army is stimmed. He has to be careful to overextend because that disruptor count is getting higher, so there are more Novas to be wary of. We have Zealots coming in from behind, but it looks like Spirit, he did turn around just in time to deal with this.
Yeah, good EMP as well. Widowmine will not quite be able to deal with all of these Zealots. Now they will. Well, most of these Zealots.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. Oh, it feels like the armory is a little bit delayed, still on the way. Because of that, we don't need detection to deal with those Widowmines. 2-2 still on the horizon here for Spirit, still hasn't quite started up. Likewise, 2-2 hasn't started up for the Protoss player either, as Spirit is going to be committed to a Doom Drop here across the map.
We're finally seeing a bit of a normal game here.
Yeah.
I think Krystianer might have caught an ice at the Medivacs. No, not quite.
Yeah, he is going to be sharking around looking for those Medivacs. He has the Observer. He sees the drop. He knows.
Yeah, he wants to try to deal with that, but I think, I think with the Medivacs, Spirit was able to catch wind of those Stalkers as well. So, massive drop towards the south, not quite working out for him. He sends a single Marine forward and scouts at, at the very least, there's no 5th base yet, so he doesn't need to panic too hard.
Oh yeah, he confirms the economy, confirms the lack of base. We do see Krystianer going for his own split push. We have an army towards the north. We have the harassing force here towards the south. Oh, Nova. Nova. Widowmine going to be going off on one of the Stalkers. Good connection here, and Spirit, he's aware of the location of this army as a result.
Hey, you know what they call them? The Terra Novas.
Oh, true. And
That's
here we go.
Nova.
Yes, Spirit, he's a little bit caught out of position, by the way. The armies are going to be engaging the Vikings. They're going ham here on the Colossus. Looks like we can get one more Colossus. Barely we don't.
Not quite yet. Yeah, no +1 ship weapons just yet. A little bit harassed towards that 3rd base location. Will pull some of the army of Spirit back. Not all of them. Widowmine will be the one to kill the Colossus.
Oh, aye. The Colossus does go down to the mine. The corpse as well gets knocked away by the Nova. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
But here we go. We are pushing towards that third base once again as the armies are going to be engaging. As the army is zoned away, the Zealots, they go to town here in the mineral line.
Yeah, a little bit of a premature landing here on these Vikings. That's still one Colossus that is still in play. The Colossus will finally go down. Purification Nova will land on a decent chunk of those Marauders and an even better chunk of those Ghosts. And another really good Nova as well on most of the rest of this Bio-Terran army.
Yeah. And mate, you called it earlier. You were like, man, it feels like game one again, and it does feel like game one again. 15, 16 SCVs go down the base as well, and Spirit, he has taken too many Novas to the face. Even with if he snipes all these disruptors, it doesn't matter. The damage has been done, and Krystianer, he's snowballing out of control.
Way too far out of control. Another good Purification Nova, another brilliant Purification Nova. HGG is called, and with that, Krystianer is going to be knocking down the King of Poland to the lower bracket, advancing to the Grand Finals. GG. Very well played here from Krystianer. A very close series that we've had between both of our players here, but when it really came down to it, when things were absolutely when things really went down to the wire, it feels like Krystianer was able to clutch much more consistently and a little bit better than Spirit here.
Yeah, Krystianer, very impressive. This is a massive upset. As you mentioned, Spirit, by many, by myself included, is considered to be the best player in all of Poland, period. Not just the best Terran, not just the reigning House SC2 Circuit champion. He is meant to go far here, but he gets knocked down early on by Krystianer. A big result here for the Polish Protoss player. And again, when it came to his play overall, it was really impressive. You kind of alluded to it, but it was really cool to see Krystianer defend against all the harassment and drop play so well. The Banshees aside, when it came to the overall drop play, the Raven harassed, the Widowmine drops as well, Krystianer was rock solid, and he was able to get a solid economy going in a multitude of these games. The Banshees, of course, they did catch him off guard in game 2, and that led into a big win for Spirit. But outside of that, like Krystianer, it's been really impressive to see his multitasking, able to keep up with Spirit and even pull Spirit apart at times.
Yeah, some very solid reactive play coming in from him.
Oh, yeah, really fast play there out of Krystianer. Very impressive. Now, if you're a fan of Spirit, do not fret, do not worry. This tournament is double elimination. So Spirit is still in this tournament, but he now has to work his way through the lower bracket instead. Krystianer advances on to the upper bracket finals, and Spirit down in the lower bracket instead.
Indeed. So not out of this yet, but still a little bit of a precarious position. What is this now? The lower bracket quarterfinals, yeah. So it's still going to be a best of 1, if I read the rules correctly.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be brutal, actually. Yeah, the best of 3s don't start until the lower bracket semifinals. Bappy going to be going up against Spirit in the best of 1. Mate, upset's going to happen there. It's going to be crazy if he can cause another upset.
It's happened before. Well, not quite a full upset like that, but no, actually, I believe it did happen like that before at some time in eSpot. Or something like that. There was a similar. Don't remember if it was a best of 1 lower bracket or if it was like a round robin kind of thing. But Bappy was able to take one single map off of Spirit, and with that one map, he actually advanced forward.
Yeah, there was another
from, moving through.
There was another big upset that you might be referring to as well. I think it was Rail. I remember I think it was in an eSport event where. Yeah, Rail was down there, and I think he knocked down Krystianer. I remember Krystianer being knocked down early on in one of these offline events. Like, these PvPs can be wild, and I mean, Protoss players in general in Poland are crazy. So, gotta respect them, but yeah, from here, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we're going to be getting into the next upper bracket semifinals match, Geralt versus a Laser.
Yeah, another very, very exciting match against 2 very top players here in Poland. Stay tuned for that.
See you then.
you then.